that there must be somebody lying in here. Kanina pa tayo nagtitimpi dito, and these people coming from the different part of this world trying to do business in this country, you have to respect this hearing. You are protecting your interests. You are protecting your business. I believe that they are not really cooperating. Huwag na tayo paloko sa mga to. Eh, kitang-kita naman natin, nagsisinungaling sila.
Are you trying to tell me, Your Honor, that LTO does not have any access
Yes, Mr. Chair.
insofar as the operations of Dermalog are concerned?
Mr.
Is
Chair,
that true?
Mr. Chair, I recognize it's not true. LTO has access to all major transactions. They have access through the whole system. They are administrating the systems. They are the one who can give access to the people. They are the one who can change data through certain tools. What we are talking about APIs for third parties to connect to the LTMS. And this is something that we have to discuss and find out how we can solve this.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, I was
Yes.
supposed to ask you to comment also.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have in fact sat down with Dermalog. Moving forward, we have identified around 130 items, change orders that need to be made, or variation orders, in order to fully complete the functionalities of LTMS to make it responsive to the needs of LTO. We have already, I think, in fairness to Dermalog, they've already done around 70 of these 130 variation orders. We still have to work out the next 60 variation orders. This would complete the system, Mr. Chair. This would make LTMS fully functional, 100%. But the top of the list is very important to us, Mr. Chair. MVUC, Motor Vehicle Users Charge. This has been a report to us from all regions that because of certain, I'm not sure what you call it, Mr. Chair, LTMS could not compute accurately the motor vehicles user charge of certain vehicle transactions. And I've discussed this already with Dermalog, Mr. Chair, so that if it's necessary to put some manual intervention in the interim while we fix up the automated version of the MVUC collection. So meron po kaming ganyan mga interim solutions and final solutions. But we already have identified what else needs to be done, Mr. Chair. But as to the API, Mr. Chair, this is so important to us because we have to open up the system. Otherwise, it will create monopolistic tendencies. For instance, Mr. Chair, our payment platform, online payment platform, it's only being done, Mr. Chair, by a single entity. What we'd like to do is open it up so that other participants can come in, the price can go down, and that the users, online users, can now choose the best payment platform best for their use. But right now, without those APIs, not just for the payment platform, we have other services ancillary to LTO's functions that need to be opened up to other services, Mr. Chair, so that it's not limited only to a few, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Before we proceed, please allow me to recognize the presence of the Honorable Ambrosio Cruz Jr., representing the 5th District, Province of Bulacan. Yosek Almirol, you were raising your hand a while ago. You're
Yes, Mr.
recognized.
Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. October 13, 2023, when LTO asked our assistants to assist to make LTMS work well. So our job, Mr. Chair, is to make sure that, as mentioned by Mr. Teal, that if the LTMS will run perfectly, I think we don't have problem anymore. But we tried to somehow assist that time, Mr. Chair, as asked by LTO. We even received multiple letters from LTO, not only to conduct assessment, but to literally assist technically. Because during the meeting, both Stradcom and Dermalog, their claim was the reason why they cannot turn over to LTO because LTO don't have technical muscle. They don't have technical expertise. And that is also their claim. That's why DICT was involved that time, Mr. Chair. So during our meeting, together with the Stratcom and Dermalog, they were able to agree both that DICT can be used as their technical expertise arm, okay, to make this happen. And we conducted, we provided also the committee about our findings that time, and this is to really help Dermalog to implement LTM as well. And the biggest problem is we found out that a lot of so-called change requests in LTO. And as a technical guy myself, if LTO has the access of the data, they don't need anymore actually to have change request because LTO can do that themselves. Okay, so that's the problem. Okay, so the biggest problem is a chicken and egg, because if there's no access of the data, LTO itself cannot help innovate. So meaning LTO will be still asking Dermalog to do all of these change requests. So unfortunately, Mr. Chair, when we're not able to assist technically already because that time we stopped the technical working group meetings already around November last year. In my own opinion, Mr. Chair, with all of these findings that we're able to see, example, 70 developments, there are 48 major missing system, minor of 12, others are 10. We can give you the copy, Mr. Chair, when we're able to investigate around 100, I think 160 something. The motor vehicle registration and inspection system, we found some critical issues, including the law enforcement traffic administration system. We found around 20 of them. For the executive information, we found like 2. Revenue collection system, we found like 13. And this can be done by LTO themselves, Mr. Chair. Meaning LTO should not be, you know, if the change request is being done by Dermalog, if only LTO has the database access, they don't need change request because LTO can actually do that themselves, Mr. Chair. That is the reason why the system access that Mr. Till was talking about and the database access is different, Mr. Chair. The system access is, you can edit data there, you can input data, that's system access. But as mentioned by Kong Herrera is the database access. If the data access is with LTO, and if you allow also the DICT to help technically, I think we can save a lot of money, Mr. Chair, because there's a lot of small change requests that the government can do without the help of any third party, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Did you inform LTO about it?
Mr. Chair, we did, but because we're not being
And they did not
involved.
react?
Actually, we received another letter recently, Mr. Chair, from them about some assistance also to make LTMS a success. So basically, your DICT is a partner of everyone. So we are, in fact, I've met with Dermalog multiple times, and our
Yusek,
duty is to make it work.
My question is, what did LTO do insofar as your recommendations are concerned?
They called it one time, Mr. Chair, for a workshop. So I remember, I forgot the date, but the Dermalog and LTO was there, and they are asking us to collaborate, Mr. Chair, between Dermalog and the ICT. Sad to say, Mr. Chair, there was no technical real collaboration on that matter, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Kaya tayo nagkakanda, loko-loko eh. Asek Mendoza, do you agree with Yusek Almeron that you did not do anything about the recommendations?
Chair, as mentioned by Yusek Almirol, we called a technical working group together in order to address these change orders or needed variations in order to make LTMS fully functional. And really the stumbling block with all of this is the access to the database. That's where we are.
Access to the
Database, Your Honor.
where is it?
It's in the system, but we do not have direct access to it. We have
Kaninong system?
atin po yung system, pero control po ng Dermalog.
Ano nasa possession ng
The system is LTO's, Your Honor, but the access to the database is still with Dermalog.
Do you agree with that, the representative of Dermalog?
Your Honor, I have to say I totally disagree.
You what?
I really respectfully disagree to this.
Disagree?
Yes.
Eh,
And I also want to answer to Yusek Almirol. I saw this report of DICT about these issues found. Unfortunately, Dermalog was not involved in the assessment of the LTMS, and I cannot say the exact numbers, but out of the 40 issues found, I think 39 are could be solved easy, or are solved already, or are in the system, and was not presented to DICT correctly. There is still so much unused functions in LTMS that should be made available to the public, that could be done online to really eliminate interactions. So I really hope we can sit together after this, together with LTO, and make full usage of LTMS, maybe end of this month.
Mr.
Mr.
Chair, Mr.
If I
Chair,
may.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Sandali lang.
Ay, sorry po.
Let me recognize the presence of the Honorable Antonio Ferrer, the Chairman of the Committee on Games and Amusement, and representing the 6th District of Cavite. Yusek Almirol, as recommended by the representative of Dermalog, pwede po ba mag-meet kayo uli ni na Asek Mendoza to thresh out this specific problem?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We're just waiting, Mr. Chair.
And kindly give me a report of the compliance na matatapos na ito.
We'll do that, Mr. Chair.
Oh. Kasi napapansin ko, nagtuturo-turuan lang itong dalawa eh. Since we started this hearing on this LTMS, yung pangatlo, yung Stratcom. Kayo lang naman tatlo ang involved dito ng todo-todo eh. And yet, we cannot even solve the problem ng isang sistema na dapat na i-turn over na sa atin noong 2018 pa. Di ba? This system would have been turned over to the government in the year 2018. Pero walang nangyayari. Anyway, you can wrap up,
Mr. Chair,
Honorable.
may interjection
Sandali
lang.
lang. You have the... Kasi tapos na yung oras na niya eh.
In relation to that, Mr. Chair.
Maglista ka rito.
In relation lang to that, Mr. Chairman. Baka I be
Sandali,
allowed.
patapusin na
Sige,
natin.
okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Para to put things in perspective, yes, Dermalog is correct. Lahat kaya nilang i-address with the LTMS. But every change order, the country has to pay again, Mr. Chair. What LTO is saying is that if we have access that's in the contract, then any small minor thing that has to be done, we don't need to pay for it, Mr. Chair. At yun lang naman po ang hinihingi namin sa Dermalog. And it's part of the agreement. Ulitin ko yung nandito naman. The solutions provider shall have the use of and be given access to the database for the sole and exclusive purpose of customizing, developing, installing, and providing. It is here naman, Mr. Chair. So, sana bigyan kami ng pagkakataon na hindi naman sa bawat variation order. Like right now, Mr. Chair, 660 million na on record ang variation order and request. That's 660 million. That is not a joke. Pwedeng kahit kalahati doon ma-address ng LTO pag may access tayo.
Yeah, I know.
Then nakatipid na tayo ng malaki. Yun lang naman po ang sinasabi ko, Mr. Chair. And that's why the German embassy is here. I'm really requesting Dr. David to help us also with Dermalog this time, to allow us access so that DICT and LTO can do the minor, customization like the ones listed here. So kung meron question yung Dermalog as to questioning that it's not true, then maybe you can sit on it like what our chairman is saying. But for now, what we are requesting, and I'd like to move on that, is to request Dermalog to give access to LTO so that the minor revisions and variation orders doesn't have to go through Dermalog. Because we own the data, we own LTMS already. We've paid significant part of it. This is already owned by our country. And we have to be able to control it, Mr. Chair, or just have access to it so that minor details can be fixed. So yun lang po, Mr. Chair, yung akin. And last na lang, Mr. Chair, dun lang sa plates, hingi ko lang yung schedule. Kasi nakita ko dun sa license plates, meron tayong schedule in terms of pag-deliver ng blank plates. Pero sana provide the committee dun schedule ng stamping for the past year. If that may be submitted, yung schedule ng pag-stamp natin, because they said they could stamp 28,000 per day. Can we ask for an historical kung ilan na yung na-stamp nila, and maybe to give us a table as to every time nagde-deliver ng bagong plates, ilan yung nasa-stamp, so that we could address the real backlog. Kasi nakaka-alarma din na 12.5 million yung backlog natin sa license plates, Mr. Chair. And lastly, Mr. Chair, I'd like to also correct yung presentation kanina. I think it's not fair naman to compare yung dating provider with this provider. Kasi when you say convenience fee, it's for online transactions. The previous IT provider, walang online dun. Is that correct, ASEC? Walang online transactions dun. So yung gastos is every time pupunta ka sa LTO mismo for every minor revision ng pangalan and all, bayad ng bayad ang consumer. But with the new LTMS system now, the conveyance fee na sinasabi is for every online transactions, which is not present in the previous. So it's not comparing apples to apples when it comes to costing. So I just like to put that on record para malinaw. Kasi pag titingnan mo, uy, pareho or pareho ang gastos. No, it's not. Because there's no online transaction dun sa previous. Now we're giving online transactions. And that is what we are paying for. The conveyance fee or the convenience fee. What do you call that? Convenience fee. Yung convenience fee yung binabayaran. So it's not correct to compare it. It's not apples to apples, Mr. Chair. So I'd just like to put that on record. Again, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Tulungan niyo po ako sa motion ko, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you get the request of the Honorable Herrera?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will.
And can you comply?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
When would that be?
Within this week, Mr. Chair, by Thursday.
Would that be okay with you?
Yes, Mr. Chair. And yung sa Dermalog, Mr. Chair, yung transactions that cannot be completed by LTMS, we have to have an answer to that.
We will comply within this week.
Within this week. Thank you. The Honorable Fernandez now recognized.
Briefly, Mr. Chairman, I think it's pretty obvious that there is somebody lying between these two sides. No,
Your Honor, this is not an
yeah, I know.
investigation
I'm
in
just
aid of
confused, Mr.
legislation.
Chairman,
This is a
because
hearing only.
yeah, I know. I respect your decision on that, Mr. Chairman. But I believe with the collaboration of the ICT and the DOT, the LTFRB, the LTO, regarding the transaction code that they cannot access with, and basically they have already conducted a technical working group, and with the cooperation of the SADCOM and the Dermalog. I think it will point out that somebody is really not telling the truth. And I'm in a quandary if we will be allowed, to ask these people who are transacting business with our country to be truthful in all your manifestation in this committee. Kasi hindi porket foreigner kayo, sasantuhin kayo ng hearing na to. Because napakasimple naman ang pinag-uusapan natin. They cannot access with all the programs they wanted to be beneficial to our people. And here you are trying to tell us that they can. Diba? It's all lies eh. They're lying, Mr. Chairman. And that's the reason why kanina pa tayo nagtitimpi dito. And these people coming from the different part of this world trying to do business in this country, you have to respect this hearing. You have to respect this investigation. You don't have to lie because these people who are trying so hard, to put up a better access by the Filipino people, you giving us a hard time. Kanina sinasabi nyo 100% compliance on the maintenance. And I'm trying to point out that 97% na lamang, 97% na lang kayo. It's a matter of 3%. And that you are not allowing our government agency to have an access. Huh? I mean, Mr. Chairman, that's so unfair. We are allowing them to do business in this country. And they're trying to give us a very hard time to have a transaction access to this application that this government wanted to have. Sana, Mr. Chairman, please remind them to refrain from lying in this hearing, even they are foreigners.
Are you through, Your Honor? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may we be given the floor?
Why?
Just to react to the strong accusation that we are lying.
It's
Hindi
not
naman po yata kayo na-allude dun dahil hindi naman, foreigner po ba kayo? O edi sabihin mo siya magsalita, hindi ikaw. Kasi narinig ko naman si Honorable Fernandez sinabi niya, foreigner eh. Are you a foreigner of this country?
Your Honor, I'm very much 100% Filipino, but Your Honor, together with my colleagues.
Hindi nga, very specific yung statement ni Honorable Fernandez. He was referring to foreigners. Now, you want to speak and shall we say state something about the statement of the Honorable Fernandez. Now, are you the proper person to retort to that?
On behalf of Dermalog.
Hindi. Yung foreigner ako, nandyan naman siya eh. Wala. Nandito siya physically. Can he not answer for himself? Can he not answer for himself?
Yes, he can, Your Honor.
Then
Mr.
let him
Chairman.
answer. You have the floor.
Mr. Chair, yes, I am the foreigner here, obviously. I am not lying at all. I respect this country, this house, more than you can imagine. Not only am I married to a Filipina, not only I have a Filipina child, not only am I living here, and my only reason why I really push for this system is trying to make this country better for the children of ours. This is the reason why we are doing this. So to accuse, especially me, of lying here is really not the right way in my way. This is a personal thing.
Mr.
I don't
Dankel, you were
know.
trying to tell us a while ago that our government can transact on the different items that was written in this LTMS.
Sandali. Are you through, Mr. Duncan? Are you through? You still have the floor.
Well, yes, I am, Mr. Chair. Out of respect, please give the floor.
Tapos na siya.
You were trying to tell us that all this transaction a while ago, the LTO was trying to tell us that they cannot really access on this. But you were telling us a while ago that they can. And what I did was I told this body that there must be somebody lying in here. And I tend to believe our government official in here. Because it's a transaction code that you are not trying to give them because you are protecting your interests. You are protecting your business. What's the difference if there is only 3% of the maintenance compliance that you were trying to tell us a while ago? But hindi mo pabigyan, why you cannot allow us to have an access on that? And we are talking just 3% of the maintenance compliance. Mr. Chairman, yun po yung tinatanong ko eh. Kanina, binanggit po nila yan na 3% na lang compliance and then they can have turn it over to the to LTO. Pero come to think of it, Mr. Chairman, it's just 3%. And at the same time, these people who are trying their best, no, to negotiate with them, hindi pa rin pala sila nakakapagkaroon ng technical meeting because I believe that they are not really cooperating. Huwag na tayo paloko sa mga to. Eh, kitang-kita naman natin na nagsisinungaling sila.
Your Honor, that problem will be settled by the directive of this committee for Yusek Almirol of the ICT to conduct a meeting of the mind of the between Dermalog and LTO para dun sa ikabubuti ng sistema na ito. Yes, Yusek Almirol.
Mr. Chair, this is also our mandate, Mr. Chair. I know that LTO just asked our assistants to somehow assist Dermalog to make the LTMS work. That's our job, I've been telling that to Till many times. I approach him many times that we need to collaborate. We need to make the system work. Okay, the government need to have the database so that DICT can also assist. Since the biggest problem before was LTO doesn't have the technical arm, the technical muscle. They mentioned that many times, and that's also the reason why they cannot turn over. Which I also sympathize with the Dermalog on the hardship of how they will turn over a big system, okay, to LTO without LTO's technical muscle. That's why if you allow the IC to come in as part of our mandate, Mr. Chair, on the Republic Act 10844, that we are mandated to assist national government agencies on any ICT projects to make sure that this will be beneficial to our Filipino people, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, even LTO was able to ask us just for assistance, but with your indulgence, Mr. Chair, we're willing to perform our mandate on this to assist both LTO and Dermalog and all of the bodies to make sure that we're able to make this happen, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusek. Hopefully, when you get to meet with these people, kindly inform us and give us a report on what would transpire. Thank you, Yusek. The Honorable Marcoleta is recognized for his interpellation.